Welcome to the podcast, where a passion meets purpose and limits are challenged. I'm your host, Eleonora Gendelman. Let's start bending reality. Your brain processes about 11 million bits of information per second, but you're only consciously aware of around 40. That means over 99.999% of your experience is happening outside your conscious awareness. Think about that for a moment. Everything you believe about who you are, what you're capable of, and what's possible in your life is based on less than 0.0004% of the information your brain is actually processing. The rest is filtered out by your subconscious mind. You're making decisions, feeling emotions, and creating your entire life using a fraction of your actual potential. At this very moment in your brain, there are neural networks that are literally preventing you from seeing opportunities, possibilities, and solutions that are right in front of you. Your consciousness is trapped in a reality tunnel, a tiny slice of what's actually possible. Here is the extraordinary part. These neural networks can be rewired in a matter of hours using a specific method that combines quantum physics with neuroscience, a method that's already helped thousands of people break free from their limited reality and step into what can only be described as supernatural abilities. Right now, in this exact moment, your brain is firing off millions of neural connections, creating patterns that will determine your entire future. You are listening right now because something inside you knows there is more. Your consciousness has brought you to this precise moment. The message I'm about to share in this podcast could literally change the course of your existence. Every thought, every feeling, every action is the product of unconscious programs running in your brain. These are not random. They are neural patterns created by every experience you have ever had. Think about this. 95% of who you are by the time you are 35 years old is a set of memorized behaviors, emotional reactions, beliefs, and attitudes that function like a computer program beneath your conscious awareness. Every morning you wake up. In the first 20 minutes, your brain shifts into the same neural patterns it activated yesterday and the day before and the year before that. You brush your teeth the same way, feel the same emotions about your job, react to your family members and circumstances in the same way, all while believing you are making conscious choices. But you're running on autopilot, letting your past experiences determine your present reality. Here's an important distinction you need to understand. Your brain is designed to function in one of two modes. The first is survival mode, where you're constantly scanning for danger, living in stress, and allowing your emotions to drive your thoughts. This is where most people live. They wake up, check their phones, and immediately trigger their stress response. Cortisol and adrenaline flood their systems. Their hearts move out of coherence. They are surviving, not creating. But there is another mode, creation mode. This is where true change happens. When you step out of your emotional addiction to the past, when you stop letting feelings of unworthiness, anxiety, or fear drive your actions, you enter this elevated state. Your brain starts producing different chemicals. Instead of stress hormones, you create hormones of joy, inspiration, excitement, and possibility. The secret most people never realize is that they are addicted to their emotions. Every feeling has a chemical signature in your body. When you feel anger, your body produces a specific blend of chemicals. When you feel anxiety, different chemicals. Your cells become addicted to these emotions. That's why change feels so uncomfortable at first. You are literally going through chemical withdrawal from your old emotional states. But here's where consciousness comes in. Your awareness, that invisible force that can observe your thoughts and feelings, is the key to breaking these patterns. When you become conscious of your unconscious programs, they begin to lose their power. It's like turning on a light in a dark room. Suddenly, what was controlling you becomes visible, and what's visible can be changed. When people become conscious of their unconscious patterns and make different choices, their brainwaves change within minutes. Their heart rhythm shifts. Their immune system strengthens. All because they made the choice to stop being a victim of their past programming and start becoming the creator of their future. Let me share something fascinating about your brain and quantum physics. At the quantum level, scientists discovered that particles don't exist in one fixed place. Instead, they exist as waves, meaning they have many possible outcomes until someone observes them. The act of observing causes the wave of possibilities to collapse into one specific reality. This is called the observer effect. Now, here is the powerful part. Your thoughts work in a similar way. Your brain is constantly processing information, but what you focus on, what you believe and expect, shapes the reality you experience. Just like in quantum physics, your attention collapses possibilities into the version of reality you perceive. So, when you focus on fear or limitations, you tune into that version of life. But when you focus on possibilities, gratitude, and abundance, you start to experience more of that. In other words, you're not just observing reality, you are actively creating it. Your attention matters. Your focus shapes your future. Every potential for your life exists as a wave of possibility in the quantum field until you focus on it with your attention and intention. And here's the incredible part. Your brain processes around 400 billion bits of information per second, but you are only consciously aware of about 2,000 bits. That means the majority of your reality is happening beyond your conscious awareness, filtered by your subconscious mind. But here's where it gets exciting. When you learn to shift your brainwaves through practices like meditation, you access deeper levels of consciousness. In that state, you are no longer limited by old programs and patterns. Change doesn't just become possible, it becomes inevitable. Your brain operates in different frequencies throughout the day. Beta waves dominate when you are in your normal thinking state, analyzing, judging, comparing your present to your past. But when you slow down your brain waves to alpha and theta states through meditation, something extraordinary happens. You start accessing the operating system of your subconscious mind. Everything in the universe is energy, vibrating at different frequencies. Your thoughts and emotions are not just abstract concepts. They are electrical and magnetic signals that interact with the quantum field around you. When you feel gratitude, your heart generates a measurable magnetic field that extends several feet from your body. This field affects everything around you, including your own DNA. Your brain doesn't know the difference between what's happening in your external world and what is happening in your internal world. When you create a clear intention in meditation and combine it with elevated emotion like joy, gratitude, or inspiration, your brain and body begin to change before the actual experience happens. You are literally installing the neurological hardware of your new reality before it manifests. When you are in beta state, You are thinking within the box of your past experiences. But when you slow down to alpha and theta, you begin to transcend those limitations. You access field where all possibilities exist. Your personality creates your personal reality. Every morning when you wake up, you unconsciously recreate the same person you were yesterday. You think the same thoughts, feel the same emotions, and make the same choices, all while expecting different results in your life. But here's the truth. Your personality is nothing more than a series of memorized thoughts, behaviors, and emotional reactions. It's not the real you. It's just the you that you've become by unconsciously repeating patterns from your past. Think about this. If you have been thinking the same thoughts for years, those thoughts have created specific neural networks in your brain. These networks are like a path in a forest. Your thoughts automatically follow them because it's the easiest route. The chemistry of your emotions plays a crucial role here. Every time you feel anxiety, your body produces stress hormones. Every time you feel joy, different chemicals flood your system. Over time, your cells become addicted to these emotional chemicals. When you try to change, you are not just fighting against thoughts, you are fighting against a chemical addiction. This is why most people fail at creating lasting change. They try to think positively while their bodies are still addicted to negative emotional states. But here's the key. When you understand this process, you can use it to your advantage. Instead of letting your emotions create your thoughts, you can use your thoughts to create new emotions. Let me explain how this works in practice. Every time you learn something new, you create new neural connections. But to make these connections stable, you need to repeat the new thoughts and behaviors while maintaining an elevated emotional state. This is why information alone isn't enough. You need to combine knowledge with feeling to create change. Every time you think a thought, you fire a specific sequence of neurons. The process of transformation requires you to become conscious of your unconscious states. You must become aware of how you think, how you act, and most importantly, how you feel. This awareness alone begins to break the habit of being yourself. When you notice yourself falling into old patterns, that noticing creates a space between stimulus and response. In that space lies your power to change. As you create these new neural networks, your brain starts to work differently. You begin to see opportunities you never noticed before. Solutions appear where you used to see only problems. Your energy changes, and as a result, you start attracting different experiences in your life. The key is consistency. You can't create a new self by changing for a day or a week. You must maintain these new thoughts and elevated emotional states until they become your new normal. Your new personality must become stronger than the old one. When this happens, you literally break the habit of being your old self and step into a new version of you. Your power to change anything in your life exists in one place only, this present moment. Most people miss this incredible truth because they are constantly living in memory of the past or anticipation of the future. But the quantum field, that invisible field of all possibilities, can only be accessed now in this moment. Time isn't what you think it is. The brain combines memories of the past with expectations of the future to create your experience of the present moment. But when you learn to step out of linear time, when you become pure consciousness in the present moment, you literally change how your genes express themselves. But accessing the state requires more than just sitting quietly. You must combine presence with elevated emotions. When you generate feelings of gratitude, joy, or inspiration while maintaining present moment awareness, your heart's magnetic field expands. This field becomes a bridge between your consciousness and the quantum field of all possibilities. Let me explain this practically. Think about the last time you were completely absorbed in something you loved. Maybe playing music, creating art, or being in nature. In that state, you lost track of time. You were not thinking about your problems or your past. You are purely present. That state of presence, combined with the elevated emotion of joy and creativity, will literally change your brain. Your heart generates a magnetic field much stronger than your brain. When you bring your attention to your heart center and generate positive emotions, you create a coherent field that affects every cell in your body. More importantly, this field extends beyond your physical body. The secret is learning to maintain that state. When you practice staying present while holding elevated emotions, your body begins to believe the future you are creating is happening right now. Your cells start receiving new signals. Your DNA begins expressing itself differently. It's all because you learn to combine presence with elevated emotional states in the now. Your body doesn't know the difference between a real experience and one you're creating in your mind. You want to feel it as if it's already happening right now. See the details, experience the sensations. The more real you make it, the more your brain and body will believe it's already happened. Throughout your day, check your emotional states. Transformation isn't a one-time event. It's a practice. Your old self will try to pull you back into familiar patterns. This is normal. When this happens, stop and ask yourself, what would my future self do in this moment? Then act from that state of being. Each time you choose your future over your past, you strengthen the neural networks of your new self. The key to maintaining elevated states is preparation. Create a playlist of music that shifts you into positive emotional states. Keep inspiring content readily available. Set up your environment to support your transformation. Follow my Instagram account, elevate.coaching, for emotional state shifts within 2 minutes. Most importantly, remember that every moment is a choice. You can either reinforce your past self or step into your future self. You know those moments of doubt that creep in, that voice that says, "This isn't working." That is not your voice. It's the voice of your old self fighting for survival. Your old self has neural networks, emotional patterns, and chemical addictions that don't want to die. When triggers appear, use them as opportunities to practice being your future self. Each trigger becomes a chance to rewire your brain. Instead of reacting automatically, pause, take a breath. Ask yourself, how will the person I'm becoming handle this situation? Every doubt is an opportunity to strengthen your faith that it's working and show up even more as your future self. That thought, it's not working out, is not reality. It's a protection mechanism from your old identity. A leftover survival script trying to keep you in the known, the predictable, the safe. But safe doesn't mean aligned. Familiar doesn't mean true. And not working out only means you're leaving your comfort zone. This isn't failure, this is expansion. The old identity is being threatened, not because you're doing something wrong, but because you are doing something new. And that is exactly how breakthrough begins. That voice saying, go back, stay small, stay safe, is just an echo from a version of you that didn't yet know your power. You don't need to argue with it. You don't need to fix it. You simply do not feed it. No more negotiating with the old identity. You are choosing freedom over familiarity. You are choosing expansion over limitation. You are choosing the truth. It is working out because you are working out. The biggest doubt comes before the biggest breakthrough. Remember this, your intellect will never be satisfied. You don't need to read all the books on this topic before starting taking action. At some point, you must move from knowledge to experience. Your body needs to learn this new way of being through direct experience. The biggest challenge isn't starting, it's staying consistent. The key is to make your commitment to change stronger than your attachment to comfort. Don't wait to feel motivated. Create the elevated emotions that drive transformation. Your future self isn't waiting for perfect conditions. They are creating them through consistent, conscious choice. Remember, in the quantum field, possibility exists as a wave until it's observed into reality. Right now, countless possible futures are waiting for you to choose them. Which future will you collapse into reality? Which version of you will you become? The answer lies in what you do next, in the choices you make today, in this moment. Look around you right now. Everything you see, everything you experiences was once just a possibility in the quantum field until someone collapsed it into reality through their observation. Your phone, your computer, the chair you're sitting on, all were once just waves of possibility. Now, think about this. Your future self, the one who is already healed, already transformed, already living as a supernatural being you're meant to become, exists right now with the same certainty as this physical reality. The only difference is your choice of where to place your attention, your intention, and your energy. You will either reinforce the neural networks of your past, or you will begin installing the neurological hardware of your future. Will you continue broadcasting the same limiting frequencies of your past, or will you transmit the elevated emotions of your future? In just 2 minutes, you can shift your state using simple but powerful tools like movement, breathwork, affirmations, meditation, and visualization. Follow my Instagram account, elevate.coaching, where I share my tools for quick state shifts and my practice to stay elevated. Your energy is your power, and you have the ability to elevate it anytime. If you're ready to go deeper into the process of recreating yourself and aligning with the life you truly want, book a free discovery call with me. Let's bridge the gap between where you are right now and where you're meant to be. Link you will find in the show notes. If you found this episode valuable, please rate, review, and share with someone who would benefit as well. Thank you for choosing yourself, doing the work, and creating change. Keep living with purpose.